Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari. Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari. Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivardhari. Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivardhari. Girivardhari. Jasura Nandana Braja Janaranjana. Jasura Nandana Braja Janaranjana. Jamunatira Vanachari. Jamunatira Vanachari. Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari. Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari. Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivardhari. Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivardhari. Girivardhari. Jasura Nandana Braja Janaranjana. Jasura Nandana Braja Janaranjana. Jasura Nandana Braja Janaranjana. Jamunatira Vanachari. Jamunatira Vanachari. Tira Vanachari. Jayo Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari. Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari. Sri Radha Madhava ki, Sri Radha Giridhari ki, Gaura Premanandi. Jai Om Vishnu Padam Sa Parivrajika Jaja Shuddha Siman is the Mangai Sabai Charanara Vinda Bhakti Vedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada ki Jai. Jai Om Vishnu Padam Paramahamsa Parivrajika Jaja Shuddha Siman is the Mangai Srila Bhakti Saranta Saraswati Goswami Maharaj Prabhu Mahari ki Jai. Ananta Koti Vaishnava Vrinda ki Jai. Grantara srimadbhagavatam ki Jai. Samaveda Bhakti ki Jai. Go Premanandi. All glories to the assembled devotees, all glories, assembled devotees, all glories, assembled devotees, all glories, Sri Sri Guru and Sri Gauranga. You can make a t-shirt. Now it says, where's all the saffron? It's a householder t-shirt, you know. Where are all the brahmacharis? Where's all the saffron? Okay. So, this morning reading from the Srimad Bhagavatam. Fourth canto, chapter 20, text 22. It's Lord Vishnu at the sacrificial arena. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Atavamrijashu kalavilokayan. Atriptadringocharam aha purusham. Padasprishantam kshitam amsa unnate. Padasprishantam kshitam amsa unnate. Vinyastahastagram uranga vidvishaya. Vinyastagram uranga vidvishaya. Atavamridjasu kalaivilokayan. Kalavilokayan atriptadrigocharam aha purusham. Atriptadrigocharam aha purusham. Padasprishantam kshitim amsa unmate. Yantam kshitim amsa unnate. Vinyastahastagram uranga vidvashaha. Atagramuranga vidvashaha. Atavamrijashu kalavilokayan. Vidvashu kalavilokayan. Atriptadringocharam aha purusham. Atriptadringocharam aha purusham. Padasprishantam kshitamam saunnate. Zantam shitamam saunmate. Vinashtahastagram urangad vishaha. Atavaranjasu kalavilokayan. Tavamrijasu kalavilokayan. Atriptadringocharam aha purusham. Atriptadringocharam aha purusham. Padasprishantam kshitamam sa unnate. Vinyastahastagram uranga vidvishahai. Stahastagram uranga vidvishahai. Anyone like to try? Chant? Atavamrijashu kalavilokayan. Atriptadringocharam aha purusham. Padasprishantam kshitamam unnate. Vinyastahastagram urangad vidvashaha. Atavridandrashu kalavalokayan. Atiptadringocharam aha purusham. Padasprishantam kshitamam saunmate. Vinyastahadagam uranga vidvishahai. Do you like it? Okay. Where are the other Prabhus? Okay. Thought maybe you saw them in passing. Okay. He's gathering vegetables or something? Yeah, as you like. If you want to skip the synonyms and go see what's happening, you can. I don't know, we might as well stay here because they're going to do it. They're going to come when they're going to come, right? There's that book. You ever see that book? You had that book, I Learned Everything I Need to Know in Kindergarten. Remember that book? You ever seen that book? Yeah, it was from back in the 90s. Nice little book. What basically is everything you need to know in life you learn in kindergarten. In other words, your teacher taught you how to open the door, shut the door, be polite, say please, yes. Use toilet paper, all these different things. One is be on time for class. Be on time. Just be on time. That's one of the things that, life's lessons. In fact, they say by the time you're 5 years old, that's pretty much who you're going to be. You know that? A significant portion of who you're going to be in life is molded by the time you're 5. Your basic who you're going to be. There's a famous quote by one bishop in India. He said, "Give me these children up to the age of 5. He said, they probably won't be Catholics when they grow up, but they'll never be Hindus again. In other words, I can destroy their faith in Hinduism by the time they're 5. Because you suck in everything, like anything, like a huge sponge, your brain and everything by the time you're 5 and who you're going to be. So by the time you're 5, a lot is pretty much set as what kind of person you're going to be. It's kind of interesting. So kindergarten's important. So one of the things in there is be on time. So. Synonyms: ata, thereupon; avyam rijya, wiping; ashru kalaha, the tears in his eyes; vilokayan, observing; atripta, not satisfied; drik gocharam, visible to his naked eyes; aha, he said, purusham, unto the Supreme Personality of Godhead; pada, with his lotus feet; sprishantam, just touching; kshitim, the earth; amse, on the shoulder; unnate, raised; vinyasta, rested; hasta, of his hand; agram, the front part; uranga vidvishaha, of Garuda, the enemy of the snakes. Who's the most famous snake that was an enemy of Garuda? Yeah, very good. You guys get extra whatever they're making for breakfast. You get it today. Okay. So translation. The Supreme Personality of Godhead stood with his lotus feet almost touching the ground while he rested the front of his hand on the raised shoulder of Garuda, the enemy of the snakes. Maharaj Prithu, wiping the tears from his eyes, tried to look upon the Lord, but it appeared that the king was not fully satisfied by looking at him. Thus the king offered the following prayers. Purport by Srila Prabhupada. The significant point in this verse is that the Lord was standing above the ground, almost touching it. Residents of the upper planetary systems, beginning from Brahmaloka, the planet where Lord Brahma lives, down to Swargaloka, the heavenly planets of Indra, are so advanced in spiritual life that when they come to visit this or similar other lower planetary systems, they keep their weightlessness. This means that they can stand without touching the ground. Lord Vishnu is the Supreme Personality of Godhead, but because he lives in one of the planetary systems within this universe, he sometimes plays as if one of the demigods of this universe. When he first appeared before Prithu Maharaj, he was not touching the ground of this earth, but when he was fully satisfied with the behavior and character of Maharaj Prithu, he immediately acted as the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Narayan from Vaikuntha. Out of affection for Prithu Maharaj, he touched the earth, but he rested the front of his hand on the raised shoulder of Garuda, his carrier, as if to prevent himself from falling down, since the Lord is not accustomed to stand on earthly ground. These are all symptoms of his great affection for Prithu Maharaj. Perceiving his fortunate position, Prithu Maharaj could not fully look upon the Lord due to ecstasy, but still in a faltering voice he began to offer prayers. Om Agyan Timirandasya Gyananjana Salakaya Chakshulunminitam nena taismai Sri Gurave Namaha. Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shiva Sri Gaur Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Vanchika Patirubhascham Kripa Sindhu Bhijam Patidanam Bhavanibhyo Vaishnavibhyo Namo Namaha. So with your kind words, and I'll try to say something. How you doing over there? Okay. So, in this particular verse and purport, what's brought out is the relationship between the Lord and His devotees, and it's a two-way street. You know, we're always, most of the time, we're always thinking about our relationship with Krishna and our activities in devotional service and approaching the Lord. But where's Krishna in this equation? Sometimes we forget that as much as we're moving towards Him, He's moving faster towards us. Isn't that exciting news? We don't sometimes think like that and say, wow, He's really far away, right? He's so far away. Krishna, can you please reveal yourself? Can you please reciprocate in some way? Give me a sign, give me a symbol, something. But actually Krishna is moving much faster, you could say, towards us than we're moving towards Him, because He's actually more anxious to revive the relationship than we are, because He hasn't forgotten what the relationship is. We lost track a long time ago. We lost the signal a long time ago. We actually turned it off. We didn't lose it, we turned it off. You know, just like your radio or something, you just turn it off. So we turned it off a long time ago, but Krishna never turned it off. And sometimes the example is given of children, they go away from home. I remember Prabhupada Das. You remember Prabhupada Das? You know Prabhupada Das, right? Dr. Nick Prabhupada Das. In his South Philly way, he would always say, you know, when you grow up, and he had kids, so when you grow up and get older, you know, sooner or later all you are is a card or two every year. Kids write you a card. Happy birthday. And that's it. So it fades. For the children, it fades. It can easily fade for the children. But for the parents, it never fades. It never fades. That's just how parents are wired. Affection is always there. Even sometimes there's exceptions, but you know, sometimes children will be very neglectful in maintaining that relationship, and even there may be some bad blood. So he did a wedding last weekend, and I said, I knew the father of the groom had passed away, and I was standing there with the mother of the bride and a few other people and the wedding planner, and I said, where's Kailash? That was her name, spelled K-A-Y, Kailash. And the wedding planner turned to me and said, oh, she's not here. That kind of a saying, oh, she's not here. I said, well, what? She goes, oh, family drama. Family drama. She wouldn't even come to her own son's wedding. So sometimes things like that happen. There's bad feelings and so on. And but you know, sometimes the children will go away. But the point I'm making is the parents, in general, they don't forget the relationship. They're always wondering, you know, like that. That's just natural. So in the same way, Krishna never turned it off. We turned it off. So that's why He's fully aware of that relationship He has with us eternally, and for the time being, we turned it off. So when He hears the little static, like you turn the radio on, a little static, you almost get the channel. So Krishna says, "Oh, hey, wait a second," or just like those old war movies where they're trying to like those old, can you hear me? Can you? The frequency's almost there. The pilot is trying to call an airport or something like that. So Mayday, Mayday, Hare Krishna. So that's what it's kind of like. It's like a little static. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. So Krishna says, what? He's calling me again, finally, after... When you say all this time, for us it's a long time. What's a long time for you? 3 years. What's a long time for you? 5 years. It's pretty relative, isn't it? How about you? Yeah. How about you? As you get a little older, what's a long time? 10, yeah. Then it starts to be like 20, 30, 50. As you get older, so the point is, we've been out of the relationship for a long time, and I swear to you, it's more than 3 or 5 years. It's like billions of lifetimes, right? But Krishna didn't forget, because he's beyond time. That's the point. Time is relative to the body we have. That's why when you're a little child, you've only been around 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 years, driving somewhere for a half an hour is like an eternity. Remember that? Your kids in the back seat, when are we going to get there? 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 And the place is only a half hour away, and the kids are thinking it's like eternity, because you haven't lived that long in this body. But when you've lived in this body for 10, 20, 30, 40, 50 years, what's a half hour? What's an hour? What's a year or 2 or 3? And when you're young, 1 year is like, my gosh. Right? When you're moving through school and so on, what grade are you in? Wow. Halfway through your senior year. But when you're older, it's like, time moves very, very quickly and so on. So it's relative to the body we have. Lord Brahma, a blink of an eye, practically, a blink of an eye was 1 whole year. That was the Brahma Vimohan Leela, right? It was practically 1 year. Just took the cowherd boys, turned around, that was a year later. Took the cowherd boys, kind of blinked his eye, looked around, see what happened, and they're all there again. He said, why? I thought I just took them. It's not that he was hiding out for a year. On his time scale, it was just like, put them over there, turn around, they're all there. Right? It's like if you were to steal Balaram's pancake this morning off of his plate, put it on your plate, and turn around, the pancake's still there. Right? I thought I just took his pancake. He had the Maha pancake, and I just stole it. But there it is again. So that's what it was, because Brahma has a body. He lives for 311 trillion years. So a long time for Lord Brahma may be like, 100 trillion years, a third of his life or something like that. That's a long time, half my life. So it's all relative. But Krishna is beyond time. Right? Kalo asmi, Krishna says, I am time. What does that mean? He is the controller of time. So he's beyond time. So however long we turned off the channel, the Krishna channel, so many lifetimes ago, millennia, for Krishna, he's beyond that. It's not an issue to him. For us, it's an issue, but it's not an issue to him. Just like we gave the example of children going away. When they come back with the parents, it's like that. What's that story in the Bible, the prodigal son? You know that story? When the boy does go away, this man has all these sons, and this one guy, he gives them all money, I think, to make their fortune. This one just goes off, and he loses it all. And his brothers are going like, he's useless. And he just disappears. But he finally comes back, and the father is overjoyed. And they had a big feast. It wasn't khichdi and curry sauce and all that, I tell you. I'm not going to tell you what it was. But that was the point, is he immediately welcomed his son back, even though this was the son who just disappeared, without any like that. But it didn't matter. He came back around. So the point is that in this verse, Krishna, his relationship with Maharaj Prithu is coming out, how dear Maharaj Prithu is to him, and of course we have Maharaj Prithu, how dear Krishna is to him. So both the reciprocation, the reciprocity is brought out in this verse. So it's wonderful to see this, because if there isn't that reciprocity, what's the point? Did you ever try to start a relationship with someone who didn't want a relationship with you? All you have to say is yes or no. No personal, don't get any details. You ever no? Oh, you're very intelligent. Okay, how about you? Right there. Right? Yeah. Anyway, you're right. You back off. But, the point is, if they don't want a relationship with you, But when there has to be reciprocity, otherwise what's the point of going on? Right? What's the point of going on? So, in our Krishna consciousness, we're looking for some reciprocation from Krishna. And Krishna is more than willing to give that reciprocation. In fact, at every moment, Krishna is reciprocating with our endeavor to approach him. Every moment. So if we're not feeling it, what does that mean? Is it Krishna or is it us? Yes, on our side. On our side. As I said before, Krishna knows our whole history, he knows our whole relationship. And he was enjoying with us eternally. And we were enjoying with him, and we just kind of turned it off. He's just waiting for us to start it up again. Because that's our natural position. It's not optional. See, that's the whole thing. It's not optional. You may have a relationship with so-and-so or may not have a relationship with so-and-so. Right? But every single jiva has a relationship with Krishna. That's their swarup. Jivera swaruphoi krishnera nityadas. That's the swarup. You can't change it. You can't change it. That's the swadharma, the swarup, the dharma of something. Right? You can't change it. Can you change sugar so it's no longer sweet? No, you can't. Or salt has to be salty, or water has to be wet. You can't change it. These are the examples probably because their chilies have to be hot. Right? You like your hot chilies, I bet. Right? Too much hot. Okay, right? She's from that part of India, Punjabis. They like their hot chilies. Okay, so if it's not hot, you go like that. Useless. Give me some hot chilies. It's got to be hot, otherwise it's not a chili. I don't know what it is, but it's not a chili, right? So in the same way, we are eternally Krishna's devotees, intimate relationship, some kind of swarup there in the spiritual world. There's no way around it, except to forget it. But that's artificial, isn't it? That's artificial. You just, I'm just going to forget it. It's still there, but you're trying to forget it. And that's what we're doing. So, but Krishna remembers it all. What does Krishna say in the Bhagavad Gita? Matakshmita jnanam apohanam cha. From me come remembrance, knowledge, and forgetfulness. So if it's coming from Krishna, he must have, what is that also, that other verse? I know everything. Past, present. Vedaham samititani vartamana charjuna bhavishyani chabhutani mam tu vedana kaschana. He says, I know everything, past, present, and future. I know all living entities. That's the point. I know all living entities, inside and out, eternally. Do you think you ever can hide something from Krishna? No, sorry. And even we forget, Krishna remembers it. And he still loves us. You know that famous line from Shakespeare? I love you, warts and all. You know that famous one? You know that one? I love you, warts and all. Warts and all. In other words, no matter whatever our imperfections are, the affection is still there. Like that. So Krishna, and actually on the spiritual platform, we have no warts. In other words, when one is revives one's divine Krishna kind, the problems, the blemishes, the insanity all come from being absorbed in the modes of material nature. But when the living entity becomes liberated, we were discussing this, I think, last week when I gave class. How all the good, we had the 26 qualities of the devotee. Remember that purport? Okay? I asked you all to judge, read them all, and how you do mentally, just in your mind. Where's Damodar? That's very kind of him. Too bad he couldn't do another time of the day, though. But he brought up the point. Remember he said he scored about a 1 on everything? Like that? So that was the verse we gave. But in that purport, it was brought up that when one becomes fully Krishna conscious, they automatically have all the good qualities. All the bad qualities go away because that's that's the material energy mixing. Just like you have pure water and it mixes with some mud or worse things these days. Water is pure. If you can purify it and bring it back to its natural state, all that stuff goes away. It's just pure water. So the soul has all good qualities. All these other things are what's added on top of it. The modes of material nature provide all of those unfortunate, debilitating qualities, which are very unattractive to Krishna. Krishna's not attracted to these lower qualities whatsoever. They're unattractive. Anyone in the mode of goodness is unattracted to qualities in passion, in ignorance. That's an example. He's just not attracted. It's repulsive, almost repulsive. That doesn't mean one's not compassionate to those who have those kind of qualities. One wants to bring them up. Just like doctors, fortunately, they're not repulsed by people who are sick. They're trying to help them. Right? You go in the doctor's office, hey, doc, ooh, that's horrible, get out of here. No, doctors don't do that. They go, let's take a look at it and let's fix it. Right? Imagine a doctor like that. Oh, that's horrible. Yeah, sure is. Go see someone else. Ugh. No. You got to get into that kind of stuff. Remember, actually, Radhapriya, her daughter, Saraswati, when she was younger, she was thinking of being a doctor. She talked about she loved watching the surgery station. There's some kind of station, and it's a live camera at surgeries. It's like cutting people open and the guts and the blood. And thinking, ugh. But she really got into it. She loved it. It's there. You can watch it if you like. So if you're that kind of a person, you can't handle the sight of blood or this or that or the idea that someone's sick, and don't be a doctor. So doctors, they see all of that, but they're very, very compassionate. They have the knowledge to cure the person, so they no longer have that problem. That's the hope, if you get a good doctor. Because the saying, what do you call the doctor who finished last in his class? What do you call the doctor who graduated at the very bottom of his class? Careful. Come on. Call him doctor. Right? He's a doctor. But how well did he do? I don't know, but he's still a doctor. So anyways, hopefully you get someone to finish at the bottom. Actually, Prabhupada, in one lecture he was explaining in India, they actually have that gradation. That if you didn't pass, you still can practice. But the diploma you have, I forget what he called it, some name, maybe it's a British thing or something, I don't know. But you didn't finish, you didn't actually pass all the tests, but you can still practice. But your certificate means like, I might not know everything. Proceed with caution. I didn't graduate, but you know enough to do some things. So he said there's those two levels. And apparently in India, maybe during the British, it's a British thing, I'm not sure. So here in this particular purport, we have the devotee and the Lord. There's some, you can see the exchanges going on here. Prithu Maharaj, he's in complete ecstasy. Nayanam Galada Shudaraya, his eyes are filled with tears. He's stunned, he doesn't know what to say. He's in ecstasy. What is this about the satisfied? Atripta. Tripta, like triptanti, means to be satisfied. Atripta means not satisfied. He can't get enough of Krishna. Can't get enough of seeing Krishna. Lord Vishnu is so beautiful, and all of his divine quality right in front of him. Right in front of him, it says. Right in front of him. Lord Vishnu. And he just can't get enough. He's just crying in ecstasy, just looking at Krishna. Like that. Just drinking in the beauty and Krishna's presence through his eyes. And fighting back the tears of ecstasy. Because it's so beautiful. Can't stop. Something could be so beautiful, you think? There's so many beautiful things in this world, but after a while, they're just like, okay, you've had enough. Right? Think about it. Is there something so beautiful in this world where you could actually just sit there and never want to close your eyes? Minute after minute, hour after hour, day after day, week after week, year after year, lifetime after lifetime. No, it's nothing that beautiful. There's so many beautiful things, but not that beautiful. So, Maharaj Prithu, he's in ecstasy, just seeing the Lord. And then it goes into him offering prayers, glorifying the Supreme Lord. And that's what tomorrow's verses, the many verses from here on in are the glorification from Maharaj Prithu. And Lord Vishnu is very, very happy to be with him. Krishna is very happy to be with his devotees. And it says here that the sign of that his dearness is he usually keeps some distance. That's the point being. He usually, like he's a demigod. Vishnu. You have the three presiding deities of this material world, right? Vishnu, Shiva, and Brahma. Right? That's what those three, the trilogy of the Hinduism, right? Brahma creates, Vishnu maintains, and Shiva annihilates. Those are the big three in Hinduism. And beyond that, you know what's beyond that? Brahman. Right, in modern Hinduism, beyond that, it's just they pop out of the impersonal light. They're not eternal. So anyways, Lord Vishnu, he takes a position in this material world as the maintainer. He has his planet right there, Dhruvaloka and so on. So that's what's being referred to here. And there are many different times when he comes as, you could say, a chief demigod. But he's not. He's Krishna. He's just in that position. Just like someone in charge of a company may roll up his sleeves and come right down and work with the people, right? He's in charge, but he's doing something. He may be training a manager, this or that, or whatever. It doesn't mean he loses his position as the head of the corporation. He's just... didn't they have some show like that a few years ago? Is that what it is? Undercover Boss? I never saw it, but it's like that. That's what it is. Like these big CEOs would just come and just work amongst their workers. People didn't even know who they were. They're working for this company. They didn't know who they are. And that was the whole thing. They're right alongside of them, trying to, just like the Kshatriyas would sometimes disguise themselves and walk amongst the people in their kingdom just to find out what people thought. Start a conversation. Hey, what do you think of the king? Well, I think the guy's okay. Or I think he should, That's the whole pastime there with Lord Ramachandra, hearing over and over again about some people criticizing what he did, how they took Sita back and then disguised himself. Anyways, Lord Vishnu, as a demigod, not touching the earth, that's one of the, how you can tell if someone's a demigod. Kind of look around the room. Is anyone kind of floating? Okay, like that. So, and many different historical things about celestial beings coming to this planet. They don't touch the earth. They don't touch the earth. You have pictures in the Sistine Chapel and so on, or from the Bible, or different religious books, the Quran. They're floating above. They float above. Angels float. They don't really need those wings. They don't really need those wings. Those wings, I think, was it Gandharva Loka? They have wings, but otherwise they don't have wings. They don't need that. They have that weightlessness, the yogic siddhi, that they can just float. They can even go from one planet to another. So, but Lord Vishnu here, he now, instead of I'm a demigod, I'm your eternal Lord and Master. And he kind of pretty much touched the earth. And just to add a little drama, he was holding the shoulder of Garuda so he wouldn't fall. Not unnatural, that catches his balance because it was unnatural for him to touch the earth. So in this way he's reciprocating like that. There are many different instances where the Lord reveals himself very intimately to his devotees. It's very, very interesting. Just like that. I'll finish with this. This is the time. That pastime in Vrindavan, when the gopis are looking for Krishna. And Krishna, the way he tries to hide himself, he takes on the form of Narayan. And the gopis came up and said, "Hey, Narayan." They didn't say, "Hey, Narayan." They said, "Oh, my dear Narayan, you're the Supreme Personality of Godhead. All obeisances to you. Did you see Krishna go by here?" And he probably went like this with 4 hands. Went that way. Like that. And they went. But when Radharani came, what happened? He couldn't maintain that form out of ecstasy. For Radharani, he couldn't keep the form. He just kept turning back into the Krishna form. So Krishna sometimes will hold different identities, but when his dear, dear devotees come, he just reveals himself completely. That's the point. Krishna reveals himself completely because the devotee is completely in love with Krishna. So Krishna can't hide himself like that in that sense, you could say. So we can end here. Are there any, unless you want me to talk some more, otherwise we can just open up for questions and comments on this reciprocation between the Lord, it's a microphone, the Lord and his devotees. There's much more that could be said. In fact, I was going to read this verse, Samaham Sarvabhuteshu, and read some of the purport, in Bhagavad Gita, where Krishna says he's equal to all living entities, but there's a but in there. Krishna's qualifying that. This verse, Samaham, is a 9th chapter, verse 29, one of the most important verses in the Gita of understanding Krishna. He says, I envy no one, nor am I partial to anyone. Very neutral. He's neutral. I am equal to all, but whoever renders service unto me in devotion as a friend is in me, and I am also a friend to him. So Krishna's qualifying things there. In other words, in general, he's neutral, but for his devotees, he's not. And Prabhupada says that's natural. Says that's natural. And then at the end of the purport, Prabhupada brought up some of the things we were discussing here. He says, the Supreme Lord becomes the devotee of his devotees. If a reciprocal relationship is not present between the Lord and the devotee, then there's no personalist philosophy. In the impersonal philosophy, there's no reciprocation between the Supreme and the living entity, but in the personalist philosophy, there is. The example is often given that the Lord is like a desire tree, and whatever one wants from this desire tree, the Lord supplies. But here, the explanation is more complete. The Lord is here stated to be partial to his devotees. This is the manifestation of the Lord's special mercy to the devotees. The Lord's reciprocation should not be considered to be under the law of karma. It belongs to the transcendental situation in which the Lord and his devotees function. Devotional service to the Lord is not an activity of this material world. It is part of the spiritual world where eternity, bliss, and knowledge predominate. So in this purport, Prabhupada also quotes that verse, Yeya tamma papajante tam sataya bhajamyaham. As we surrender to Krishna, Krishna reciprocates. And all of this is on the transcendental platform, has nothing to do with this material world. So we should try not to try to fit it into some type of material conception. Krishna is reciprocating with his devotees. Very mystical and transcendental and blissful. So, there are some questions or comments? Our vegetable wala, sabji wala over there.
So, I thought about this before, but it kind of came.
I think the mic is right above you.
Oh.
Maybe turn to the side. It's facing you now.
It came out more in this class, but in terms of reciprocation between Krishna and his devotees, I was thinking, why? So, like for example, right now there's a devotee that has like very, very important service, but because of the physical body, it's completely not enabling him to do any of the service, which is very important. So why would Krishna allow that for the physical body to not allow one to engage in service or to hamper one's devotional service if they have something that really needs to be done?
That's a good question. I have to take my glasses off. But the answer is quite simple. Krishna really knows what needs to be done. We have an idea of what needs to be done and how important we are and how important what we do is. But Krishna's understanding of what's important and what we need to do is better, unlimitedly better. So what Krishna has planned for us is always the best thing. And it may not seem, or may not be able to understand it. I was just reading a very nice article by Chaitanya Charan. And he was making the point that Krishna may not always be pleasant, but he's always benevolent. See the difference? He may not always be pleasant, what he does to us, but it's always benevolent. And he actually gave the example I just gave, like the doctor. You go to a doctor, what the doctor does to you may not be pleasant. The application of some kind of medicine or surgery or treatment is not pleasant at all. Just think of the word dentist and what happens. It's unpleasant, In fact, I think the dentists are the highest, dentists or psychiatrists have the highest rate of suicide. But dentists are up there. Because all day long they deal with people, no one likes them. No one likes going to see them. Right? You can imagine having an occupation where people don't really like seeing you. Does something to you. But you're going to cause some pain. It's not pleasant, but you cure the person of the disease. That's benevolent. Very benevolent. And Bandhu Maharaj, you ask him, he used to give this example. When he was a young boy, teenager or something, he got hit by a car and broke his back very bad. And but this one doctor put them all back together. It was a long, arduous recovery. And he points out to this day he's very, very, very thankful for that doctor for making it so he could function the rest of his life. It's very painful. You can imagine the surgeries and all that. Just like when I was a little kid, I won't go into the details, but my wrist got broken. Had to do with falling out of a tree, sort of. And I went to the doctor, and they set it in a cast. Then I went back the next day, and they go, "Oh, we set it wrong. We have to re-break it." That wasn't a very pleasant experience, nor something I welcomed at all. It was bad enough breaking it the first time, but the doctors took the cast off. And they said, "Look the other way." Rebroke it and set it. Very unpleasant, but benevolent. Otherwise, my hand would have healed incorrectly. So we think, oh, this is important. What do we really know what's important? And that, what Krishna's plans are. So it's something to contemplate. What's really important on the not only on the scale for the devotee, but also in this world and so on. Who knows what Krishna's working on in the background? So we should always be very confident that Krishna's always acting in such a way which he's the most benevolent and the best for us. Is that okay? Any other questions or comments? Yes.
You mentioned that Krishna could be unpleasant and benevolent at the same time. So it got me to think that in the Krishna reciprocates with us in many different ways. So Krishna reciprocates to us with qualities in the mode of goodness. So we can help others. Is that a way that Krishna can reciprocate with us? Also, that those qualities can be threatened to other devotees? Can they, because they don't take them as such, they can be taken as your false ego trying to, you said, being hurtful, but it's actually more like, you said maybe unpleasant, but it's benevolent.
Mm-hmm. So the question, does Krishna help us develop good qualities? Yes. That's because it's the purification, Cetodarpana Marjanam. They're already there. Krishna, that's the reciprocation. That's that Smrita Jnanam Pohanam Cha, you can say. Krishna starts revealing things. Actually, a better verse than that is the Dami Buddhi Yogam Tam. That's one of the most important verses in the Gita. Krishna's in the heart. The Dami Buddhi Yogam Tam. I give them the knowledge by which they can come to me. Krishna's in the heart. He reveals it, just like a light, he says, Deepa. And the darkness of ignorance is dispelled by the light, the Deepa. So those are the Chatra Shloka in Bhagavad Gita. So Krishna's in the heart, and he's reciprocating. It's a personal thing. That's the whole thing. It's like I said in this purport. The impersonalists think that we're just kind of here and spirituality's there and something like that. But there's no one up there or no one in here. But that's not our philosophy at all. It's actually very, very personal at every single moment. The idea of impersonalism is vimukti manina. It's a mental speculation that there's no person there. Krishna is right there in the. Why is he in the heart? Why did he come with us? You could just put something on the door. I'll be back later or something like that. When you get around to it. No, he's with the jiva at every moment. We left the spiritual world, but Krishna was right behind us. You could say, right behind us. We didn't see him, but he's right there. In the very first, you can say, birth we took in the material world. Guess who's in the heart? This was like Lord Brahma. We started at the top because we had no papa, no sin. Krishna was in the heart. And then we fell all the way down to a worm in stool, or an insect or something, some amoeba. Guess who's in the heart? Amoebas have hearts. Right? Guess who's in there? Why did Krishna do that? Why does he follow? What is that? Ishvara Sarvbhutam Hiddeshte Arjuna Tishtati. Why is he in the heart every single lifetime? Why does he never leave the jiva? Why? He's got nothing better to do. He always wanted to travel, check things out. He's a traveling kind of guy. He's likes to see different things. Why? Every single jiva, Krishna's in the heart. Why? Why? I'm asking you why. Why do you think so? You do know. You just wonder, why? Why do you think he's in the heart? Why is he coming with the jiva? Every single soul that leaves this material spiritual world, he's there in the heart every single until we go back. Why is he doing that? We got a relationship, like we said earlier in the beginning of the class. He didn't give up on it. He doesn't give up. Now he's intelligent. It's like someone breaks off a relationship. You don't follow up. Come on. Let's get back together. Come on. Let's get back together. And he's like, come on, leave me alone. So Krishna is very intelligent. He's in the heart, and he's there. And he's always waiting for that time when we turn around and start looking towards him. Because we want to forget, so Krishna says, you want to forget? Oh, I'll help you forget. Oh, I got a place for you. You can forget me forever if you want. We don't. But Krishna's in the heart because of the relationship. How can he leave? How could you ever leave someone you love dearly? You can't. You just can't leave them. So Krishna has that ability to be with us. We don't. Someone we love and they leave, we can't be with them. But Krishna's not like that. He's with us eternally in the heart. Just at every single moment, fully conscious of everything we're doing and just waiting for us to turn to him and helping us with whatever qualities we need to advance in our Krishna consciousness. Or, on the other hand, whatever qualities we need to forget Krishna. He'll help us with that also. If that's really what's in our heart, Krishna says, okay. He doesn't like doing that, but he says, that's what you want? Okay. Because he knows by acting in that way, we'll become frustrated. So it's not out of malice. It's just the long way around. Sometimes you can do something the short way, or sometimes you can do something the long way. And if you insist on doing it the long way, okay, just do it. You'll come around. You're going to waste a lot of time. You're going to waste a lot of money, a lot of energy. But if you want to be stubborn about it, just go ahead and do it. Right? One thing Krishna has is time. Because he's beyond time. And we're also beyond time. We don't think we are, but we are. But if we go, no, I think this long way around is not working for me. I think I'd like to do the direct way, go back home. So Krishna says, oh, really? This is the way, this is the way, this is the way, this is the way. And how does that message come? It comes from within the heart, but also comes externally. The external manifestation of Chaitya Guru is the spiritual master, the Vaishnavas, the Shiksha Guru, Diksha Guru, the sadhus, the saints, all the great devotees, the books, the Vedas, right? Vyasadeva Kampa. That's the external manifestation of the Supersoul. Same message, no different message. Supersoul, when you finally meet him, he's not going to say, well, I didn't really... No, it's the same thing. Exactly the same thing. The spiritual, Guru, Shastra, Sadhu, and also Antarayami, Supersoul in the heart. They're not going to say anything different. It's the exact same message. Because we can hear the Supersoul, he comes in a form we can hear him. The same message. Same thing. Good question. I hope I answered it. Kind of I went the long way.
You went in the I got to go.
Okay. Okay, that's interesting.
No, I think just want to make sure.
So I was basically saying that if those qualities in the mode of goodness that Krishna gives you or reveals to you can be a threat to other devotees because they might judge them as your false ego and they can be taken as trying